Frost is a very cool Warframe, able to chill down his enemies with his ferocious abilities to make his enemies freeze on the spot. Anything struck by Frost will be crispy and turns bitter towards him. Don't let that give him the cold shoulder though, as there is no need to be Sub-Zero. With the cold puns out of the way, let's see why Frost is such a nice Warframe. Freeze is his first ability. Frost launches a projectile that freezes any enemy hit for a long duration. If the attack doesn't hit any foe, it will leave a patch of ice which slows any enemy who comes in contact with it. Frost's second ability is Ice Wave. Frost sends forth a wave of ice spikes in a cone-like shape, which deals moderate damage. Enemies hit will be slowed. Do you have difficulties defending an objective? Then Snow Globe will be your best bet. This ability locks down an area and pushes all nearby enemies away. It has a short invulnerability window where it is immune to damage and increases its strength equal to the damage done to it. Bringing the cold with Avalanche. All enemies within a large area are frozen, have their armor reduced and take a large chunk of damage. All enemies that die from the effect will explode, dealing damage to enemies in its range. Frost's main build is aimed towards making strong snow globes to lock down areas. This build also makes him quite sturdy, as he has the defensive stats to boot. The first build mainly focuses on keeping your allies inside of the bubble while keeping enemies out. As the snow globe scales with both ability strength and armor, it's advised to stack these to make a snow globe that can last an entire mission cycle. This build also deals a nice chunk of damage to nearby enemies with his other abilities. I also added an all-around build, as Frost packs more than just protection. His crowd controlling abilities come in handy when fighting large groups of enemies, while also being able to make a defensive temporary wall where his allies can hide in. Bringing the augment, Icy Avalanche turns your entire team into a walking tank if cast in a large enemy group. The final build is what I use for arbitrations. This build is great when doing both excavation, defense, interception and disruption missions. Bringing Icy Avalanche is an extra protective layer to keep your allies alive as long as possible. You can use freeze in a busy hallway. The ice layer stays for quite a long while, and shooting a slowed down enemy is easier than a running enemy. While Ice Wave is quite niche to use, its coolness factor makes up for that. If you cast freeze on your snow globe, it explodes and damages any nearby enemy and slowing them down. The damage is minimal though, and it is mainly used to keep your globes under control to not tamper your allies' efforts. Icy Avalanche is a tide turner. When used within a large group, the following explosions can even take down the toughest enemies. Use this to your advantage. Frost is not the fastest of Warframes. It doesn't hurt to bring a mobility tool on him, like increased bullet jump range, rush or amalgam serration. When all is said and done, I hope you brought your jacket, because the temperature is falling and so are Frost's enemies.